Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Oh my goodness. I have missed you guys so much. I have been away for the longest break that I've taken since I started YouTube. A whole half a year, 6 months since I last posted a video on this channel. It started out as just an itty bitty bit of a break and then extended into a really long one, but we're going to catch up on all that in today's video. That's why I'm here barefaced, because we're going to be doing a get ready with me, but we're going to be catching up, chit chat, what's the goss, what's new, etc. So I'm really looking forward just to kind of coming back and having this video be, you know, a friendly girly chat. If you have joined in the time since I've been away, welcome to the fam gang. We're gonna get into schedule and all of that in a bit, but we do beauty here, we do life, and we do style, but it's very heavy on the beauty. So that's why we're doing this kind of, you know, girly catch up, nah. So if you're interested to kind of catch up, hear a little bit more about what I've been up to, my thoughts, etc., and what's been going down, then just keep watching. But if you haven't already, then please hit the subscribe button. I would love if you would join the fam gang, and you can also follow me over on Instagram as well. Otherwise, let's get started. So it's early in the morning. This is actually a full work day for me here. I'm just going to put on some sunscreen because I've just finished doing my skincare. But sunscreen is a must. I know it's been really rubbish weather in Nairobi, but sunscreen daily is an absolute must, particularly if you are struggling with breakouts and the dark marks that come after it. I have acne prone skin and it can be quite problematic, so I do get breakouts quite often, as much as I try to kind of stay on top of it. So you'll be able to see some dark marks here on my cheek. That kind of tends to be in my problem area, but I do have a new pimple that I got on my forehead, which is now gone, but we're kind of just like struggling with the dark mark and the scarring. So SPF is an absolute must if you are trying to keep the face glowing and smooth and even. And you may have noticed that my sunscreen went on completely clear. It's my new fave. It's the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen, broad spectrum SPF 40. This stuff is bomb. It's like a gel formula, but it literally goes on completely clear. And as you can see, it's kind of giving my skin a bit of a glow. So I am fully enjoying that. Yeah, so let's get into catching up. So I obviously have been away for quite a while here on YouTube. I don't know if any of you are like me, and I can't remember whether I've mentioned this in a previous video, but for me, when I am struggling with non-creative, I find it very easy to do stuff that's kind of more creative, right? So makeup, hair, designing stuff, reading about, you know, that kind of stuff, right? That's kind of what I do in my spare time because that's what gives me joy. But what happens is, if other things in my life are kind of going under, work-wise, personal-wise, whatever, the stuff that I love somehow gets pushed to the back burner. Like, I can't find the strength to, yes, summon myself and put energy into the thing that I love, which I know sounds a bit backwards, but somehow that's just the way that my brain works. So I really didn't have the, and because it's kind of my happy place, I don't want to bring the negativity that I have in other parts of things that I'm struggling with into this space. So the easiest thing for me to do is just to kind of take a step back. So that's pretty much, yeah, how it started off for me. I could feel it towards the end of last year, but definitely the beginning of this year. I think I was just a little bit exhausted and needed a break. So I took a break, and, you know, 1 week turned into 2 weeks, turned into 4 weeks and then turned into 6 months. But actually what happened is I reached a point in time where I did feel guilty for quite a while about not posting on here, but also on Instagram, where I am usually active if I'm away from YouTube, but everything kind of just fell off the rails. So I felt quite guilty at the beginning, but then I just had a little think about it and I was like, you know what, Olivia, give yourself a bit of a break. Like, just take the pressure off yourself. Because that level of pressure is not healthy. It's not resulting in anything beneficial. I did actually try to film a couple of videos and did film them, but my energy was off and everything was just off. And you would have been able to tell if I would have posted it. And I don't want to give you anything where, you know, I'm not really at my best. So I just took the pressure off myself and decided to, to just recuperate, to get my mind back where it needed to be before, I could come and sit down. Now, at about month 4, I started to feel like, yes, I'm actually ready to start thinking about coming back, and I started putting down video ideas, and I started kind of sketching out bits of content that I would want to do and thinking about how I would want to do different types of content with more video stuff over on Instagram and what kind of posts I would want to do on there and whatever. But that's when I started to have the thought. So like kind of month 4 rolling into month 5. And then I think for the past month, I have actually wanted to kind of sit down and film, but it has been just a crazy month. Like, we've had funerals, you know, sickness, everybody in the house has been sick, that kind of stuff. So just waiting for the right time to kind of sit down and do this. But I am feeling so good and so excited to be back. And doing it in a kind of non-pressure filled way is the way that I think I'm going to approach, approach creating content, and not to put so much pressure on myself to make things perfect. If you're a bit like me, then wanting to get things done right can cripple you in terms of even just starting and getting anything done. So my advice would be, and that's what I'm learning to do and I'm pushing myself to do it, is just to get started and just to do whatever you can with what you have and get it pushing. So hold on, I need to sculpt out my brows. By the way, the product that I used at the beginning was this. It's the NYX The Brow Glue. It's basically a clear brow gel that I used to set it down, then with some setting powder. So I'm using another NYX product, which I love. It's the Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer, to carve out my brows. And with my new favorite angled liner brush from AOA Studio, which you can get over on Cocoon Beauty. I think that's about the only thing that hasn't fallen off in my life, is that, you know, Cocoon Beauty is still up, still going, still moving along. So if you're ever looking for makeup and skincare, hit us up over on IG or on WhatsApp. And that's kind of ready stock as well as pre-orders. Right, do you know what? I think this is taking too long. Let me just finish off my brows and doing all of this shenanigans, and then I'll be right back. Moving on to eyes now. So we're going to use the Juvia's Place Chocolates palette, which looks like that. I am actually, as I said, going into the office today. Well, you know, working from home in the office today. But I have a couple of meetings. And so I want to try and make sure that I look, you know, presentable and kind of work appropriate. I do work in a semi-professional field. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do a chocolatey smoky eye. So I'm going to use these 3 shades right here. This lightest one kind of for the brow bone. This one, the dark one on the lid. And then this kind of medium chocolatey brown to kind of in the crease. Oh, so one thing I noticed I haven't mentioned, but you obviously can see that I cut my hair again. Yeah, I cut my hair at some point in, was it 2019? I think 2019. And then spent the time growing it out, and then earlier this year cut my hair again and dyed it blonde. Now it's looking a bit kind of washed out right now because it's grown out, and obviously the hair dye has kind of faded. I need to do a touch up. But let me tell you guys, I don't think I'm going back to growing my hair out. Like, I don't think I'm doing it. For me, what I've realized is I just don't be having the time and the effort to be spending on taking care of my hair. And I know I can go to the salon and I can pay somebody to do it, but actually I don't even want to spend that time sitting in the salon to have it done. So what I've decided is I'm just keeping it really manageable, and that for me is short. So no longer than this. In fact, I'm almost feeling like it needs another trim again. And then obviously a fresh dye. But that's basically the revelation for me. And I think it saves me so much time and so much stress in terms of like thinking about having to retouch my hair or brush it out in a certain way or do all of this. Like, I haven't got time. So I will be like this, or I will have a wig on, and a wig will just be like a pop-on wig that I can put on really effortlessly and then, you know, take off when I'm done. So I think those are the vibes now going forward. I'm not going to stress myself out with trying to do too much. I can't. So if you, let me put a picture up here actually so that you can see. Yeah, I did dye my hair, and this is the color that it's supposed to look like. It's a box dye, so it's nothing fancy. You can do this yourself at home. It's a box dye from Cream of Nature, and I think it's the shade Honey Blonde. I'll include a little thing here, but I think it's the shade Honey Blonde. So I literally just went to the barber, told him to shave the hair, just shave it all the way down. And even I wasn't having like edges and things cut into it. I'm not really into all of that, so just really simple. And then yeah, just dyed it myself at home. Literally took half an hour, rinse it out, condition your hair, and you are good to go. And the best thing about it is that I can do top to toe showers, and I can just, you know, it's really quick to get ready. Like, I'm loving it. And so many of you have complimented that I suit this kind of short hairstyle. Shout out to my mama and them doctors that pulled me out of her stomach. I was a CS baby, so shout out to her for keeping my head intact. But you know what I have realized, especially now that my hair is growing out. No, sorry, especially that my hair dye is kind of like fading out, is that my grey hairs, they've been having a party on my head. Like, they have been at work. I've had grey hairs for, yeah, probably about 5 years or so. But like 1 or 2 that I noticed. But literally they've been multiplying. And now, I don't know if you'll be able to see, if I bend down, whether you can see the grey hair situation that is happening. That is happening on my head. I don't know why I'm doing this with this brush. 1 second. Sorry, I had to change brushes real quick. I don't know why I was struggling with that kind of a brush. Yeah, so they've been multiplying on my head. So it looks fine, I think, when I have the, like, you know, the brighter blonde hair, when it's like freshly dyed. But right now it's kind of standing out a little bit. I don't mind grey hairs, by the way. I think as they multiply and they fill my head, I think I will actually take my hair a lot lighter and might end up kind of with a grey, whitish, silvery, salt and pepper look on my head. I think that would look so good. So I'm looking forward to that stage, but right now I think it's just giving a lot. So that's also kind of encouraged me to, yeah, to get this dye back on my head and refresh it. So because I've had all this time off, I've actually been able to spend that time investing in some things for myself. The first of which I can't really tell you too much about now. I don't want to tell you too much about it right now. But it's something that I have wanted to do for a number of years. And I have just been, I've been doing that thing where I don't think I'm good enough, imposter syndrome, and then it has to be perfect, and I don't have the perfect concept together yet, and I don't know where to look for this, and I haven't found the right person to do this exact thing. I've been basically self-sabotaging myself. And I think the bottom line of that kind of thinking comes from when you as a person don't somehow think that you are good enough or worthy enough of that dream or that ambition that you have in mind. So you sabotage yourself and you tell yourself that, you know, it has to be like this and it has to be like that. And you set some kind of impossible standards which never get achieved because you don't even start on them, because you're basically terrified, because you don't think that you can do it, or you don't think you can do it well enough, etc., etc. So this year has given me some time to breathe and think, and then to say, hold on, if you don't do it now and if you don't start now, 2-3 years will pass and you'll be in this exact same position, but looking back over a longer period of time. So 2-3 years from now, I'll be like, oh my God, I should have started it then. I should have started it then. Now look, I haven't started. And then that will put me off again, not to start it, not to invest, not to do more. So imposter syndrome is a biatch. I think she comes for a lot of us. And mine, I think, manifests itself in procrastination. Not thinking that I'm good enough, so then not starting. Because if I don't start, then who will judge me? Who will tell me that I'm not good enough? Who will tell me that I didn't hit the mark? Who will tell me? I think that's kind of secretly what I've been telling that's secretly what has been going on in my subconscious at the back of my mind. Because if I don't start, then there's no reference point. There's no reference point, and you can't say, you know, it wasn't good enough, expected better from her, etc., etc. I think I've clocked it, like I've deeped it. That really is my personal issue. And if you're like me, I think you have to put a little bit of work into telling yourself that you are worthy and that you can do it. And also to remind yourself that everybody who has started this journey, creating something, developing something, starting something new, putting their foot out so that they can kind of achieve their passion and their dream, they didn't know what they were doing. They really didn't know what they were doing. Like, you know, people just had the bravery to chance it and to kind of hope for the best. And you figure it out so much as you go along. How many times do you hear people say, you know, I applied for this job and to be honest, I didn't know half of what I was expected to do, or I didn't think that I was good enough for it. But you know what? They hired me and I started it and I did it. And I figured it out as I went along. That mantra is so true. So just start, just do it, get it going. So I've started, I'm just doing, I'm figuring out as I go along. It's not going to be perfect. And the beauty about it not being perfect is that there's room for growth. That's what I realized. Like, you start at level 3, right? Say there's like level 1 to 10. You start at level 3. You've put in some work. You've figured it out. You think that this is the best that you can do right now, or at least you're giving yourself the opportunity to not be perfect. And you say, you know what? It needs to go. So I'm letting it go right now. If you were at level 10 already, there's no room for you to grow. There's no room for you to reflect. There's no room for you to say, this is how I can tweak it, and this is how I can make it better, and this is how I can invest to take it to the next level. So do your level 3. 2 years from now, you'll be at level 5. With the learnings that you have, a year from that, you know, you'll be at level 7, and you'll continue to grow. And the beauty about being able to reflect, especially on entrepreneurs' journeys or people who are creating things, is that they're like, oh my God, look, this is where we started with this product. This is where we began with our branding. This is where we began with our concept. And it's such a beautiful story to watch, like from you started here and you moved it all the way to this point. To me, that is mind blowing. So anyway, I say all this to say, do it. Get started, get involved, do what you need to do to move to the next level and keep it pushing. I finished off my, I popped on some lashes off frame just to make it a little bit quicker. But these are part of a 10-pack lash that I'm obsessed with from Cocoon Beauty. Like, they're so fluffy and like a little bit cat eye, and they're just gorgeous. So let's get on to base. Because I've looked at the time and your girl is just here chit-chatting, and I've got things to do today, honey. I've got things to do. So I'm just going to pop on some primer. Right, for foundation, I'm going to use the NYX Born to Glow. It's one of my favorite drugstore foundations, just because it looks so luxe, right? It's so pretty. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on the back of my hand in the shade Mocha with a touch of the shade Deep, because I've been traveling and my skin, she be getting dark, honey. So trying to make it match. A little bit of Fix Plus in the matte formula just to make sure I get a bit of hold during the day. Like, I do want the gold, but the glow, but I don't want it to kind of slip and slide all day. Something that I have been enjoying in terms of having this extra time off as well is that I have perfected, not perfected, but I have gotten really good at doing my nails beyond stick-on. So the last video I actually had up on this channel was how to make my press-ons last for 3 weeks. So you can go and watch that tutorial if you're interested in that. But I've kind of graduated in that time, and I've now started putting on tips with Builder Gel and everything on my nails. So ooh, these nails are mine. I did them myself. I did them last night using the tips, using the Builder Gel, and still maintain a nice flat nail. So I hate that kind of hump that some nail artists will give you in a nail. Like, I can't be doing that. I can't be associated with that mess. Your nails should be flat, like the nails that grow from your nail bed, please. So if your nail tech is giving you that hump, say no, refuse it, reject it. Yeah, I just need a little bit more coverage on my cheeks where my blemishes are. I probably should have color corrected, but I think I've kind of ditched that as a concept. Like, I just can't. I've ditched it as a makeup step. I can't. There's a few other things as well that I've kind of ditched. Super light and bright concealer under the eyes is a no for me. I really just want a more natural, flawless looking base that kind of looks like my skin but better. That's kind of what I'm going for. Also have ditched the ridiculously long lashes. You may have noticed when I've been talking about doing my makeup more recently, it's been more about yeah, natural looking lashes. Like the Ardell 422s have been my jam. So I think this is probably as dramatic as it will go, this or similar, but like those really thick, really long, really bushy, it's not for me anymore, girls. It's not for me anymore. So maybe it's old age. Am I getting old? But I just don't find it as like, yeah, as attractive anymore. So I'm not doing that anymore. So something new that I've started, which is a brand new journey that I'm willing to talk about now because I feel like I am committed to it in my brain, is my health and fitness journey. So I mentioned this a little bit on Instagram just a couple of weeks ago that I had started or was starting to hit the gym. Now, gym and me have been allergic to one another for the entirety of my life. No, I have been to the gym. Oops, hold on. I have, of course, like, you know, tried to work out in the past, but never consistently. And, you know, there's even one time, God, this is really embarrassing. There's one time I paid for an entire quarter to go to the gym. 3 months in advance. And I think I went like 5 times. I'm not even kidding. So this time around, I have a gym buddy, like I have an accountability mechanism, but I think it's also just about, yeah, wanting to take care of my body a little bit better, and also trying to see if I can get other benefits apart from the physical benefits from this. So, you know, I hear people talking about how gym really helps their mental health and makes them feel energized and kind of gives them, you know, energy for the day and that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping that I can get there eventually. Look, I'm being realistic. I'm not expecting, you know, me to feel that way now, because I certainly don't. But I have been quite consistent in terms of going since I started. So I'm just starting out with 3 times a week. Last week was a bit of a dud for me. I went twice because I had to travel for family funeral. And I just couldn't fit it into my schedule. But 3 times a week is the goal now. So that's what I'm trying to work with. And hopefully I'll be able to stick to it and actually see results. I mean, obviously the biggest results for me are obviously like fitting into clothes that I want to fit into. Yeah, I'm very driven by that, and I'm not embarrassed to say that I'm driven by that. I love fashion, I love clothes, but sometimes I can't wear what I want to wear because the body's not looking right. And I know that I should be able to wear what I want to wear irrespective of that. But, you know, if you just don't feel comfortable or confident in what you're wearing, then it translates. And I want to make sure that I feel comfortable and confident in what I'm wearing. So for me, that's that. I don't have a weight target in mind per se. I mean, I do have a number that would be amazing to see on the scale, but to be honest with you, that's not really the main driver for me. The main driver for me is about the clothes. So I had, you know, I was very committed, and now it's kind of more of a lifestyle for me in terms of intermittent fasting. When I started that, I think, was it 2019? I've seen really good results in terms of in terms of IF and being able to control what I eat. So I saw, you know, I dropped 1 dress size kind of that way. So I'm going for 1.5 dress sizes. I'd say I'm pretty much like now a 14, a UK size 14. So I want to be a 12 with a bit of 10 in there. That would be my dream. I don't want to go any skinnier than that. I'm a tall girl. And I think if I went any smaller than that, it wouldn't look like what I want to look like. So yeah, that's what's going on. If any of you have kind of struggled with working out and this has been like, you know, something that you finally cracked, if you have any tips, then please just drop them down below. I would love to kind of take them on board. What's kind of going to work for me right now is, of course, having a gym buddy, and then also being realistic and not trying to go every day. And I'm trying to do 3 days a week and hopefully be able to work that up. What I'm starting to talk myself into at the moment is going for walks on the days that I'm not actively in the gym. So to go for, you know, 5-kilometer walks or something on the days that I'm not actively in the gym. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm still talking myself into it. As I said, me and Jim, we've been allergic. So yeah, if you're on this journey, it would be great to hear from you. I will start posting a little bit more regularly about it on Instagram once I'm pretty sure that I'm in my routine. I don't want to start posting about it and then fall off, because yeah, that would be embarrassing. But I'm talking about it so that there is some level of accountability. So if you don't see me saying anything about it, then harass me a little bit. And I'll probably be guilt-tripped into having to do something. I'm obsessed with these cream blushes from NYX, the Sweet Cheeks. The orange one is new, but you will have seen this bombshell shade in the channel before. I just want to blend the two of them together on the cheeks. Yeah, so what else has been happening over the last few months? Of course, the pandemic is still with us. And I hope you guys are kind of taking it seriously. Like, luckily, I have managed to avoid contracting COVID so far, touch wood, and hopefully keep it going. Although I don't know whether I've said it on this channel before, but do you remember when I was in Vienna in 2020, last year, for my birthday? I was sick as did in between the Vienna trip and the Amsterdam trip. And I think that might have been COVID. When I look back at it now, I have never been that sick in terms of a cold before in my life. Like, even when I get flu, it's never as bad as it was then. And that cough lingered with me for the longest time. And we didn't know what COVID really was then. So when I look back at it now, I'm like, oh, Amma, did I have the vid, honey? Did I have the vid? Could have been. Could very well have been. So yeah, just keep yourself safe. The Delta variant and all the different variants that are out there right now are wreaking havoc, particularly on younger people. So, you know, if we've managed to avoid it so far, there is definitely a risk, a higher risk, that we will contract the virus this time around. So I know we've been locked up for the longest time, and, you know, life has been limited for the longest time. But even when you're out and about, I mean, I've been out and about as well. I'm not going to lie. I've not been sitting at home by myself this whole time. But, you know, just keep your eyes out and be wary and be careful, because, yeah, the virus is not playing. The virus is not playing. And if you can now, because the government has brought in a ton of vaccines, please go and get yourself vaccinated. I've been vaccinated through my work scheme. I've had my first dose. I'm actually due up for my second dose, but I had a bit of a cold about a week or two ago, and I wanted to make sure that it had like fully cleared up before I head back to get my second dose. So if you can, please go and get your second dose to make sure that, you know, you can be as safe as possible, so that even if you do contract, remember, getting the vaccine doesn't mean that you can't contract the virus, but it may mean it could save your life, because then your body will have some antibodies to be able to fight back to some level. So if you can, please go ahead and get it done. And the faster and the more people that get it done, the quicker we can get back to some sort of normalcy in terms of life. Because for, you know, the past year and a half, life has been completely abnormal. The biggest thing for me that I would love to be able to do a lot more of is travel. And now travel is so complicated, because you have to factor in which countries have a red list or a green list or whatever. Are you on the list? Do you have to quarantine? What are the costs associated with that? Getting the tests and everything done. So I think there is still opportunity for people to travel. It takes a little bit more, it takes a little bit more planning, and obviously a little bit more expensive in terms of factoring in costs of like having tests and stuff done. Okay, so I'm gonna do the lips. I'm first going in with the NYX Espresso Liner. Ooh. It's just a beautiful dark brown liner that I think everyone needs in their collecciones. I realize I use a lot of NYX in this video. NYX really is just one of those kind of, is it drugstore really? Yeah, kind of drugstore brands or affordable brands that I am obsessed with. Their quality is just insane for what it is that they give you. So like, my favorite, I think, drugstore brands at the minute are NYX, Elf, and Maybelline. Like those three, yeah, they're doing what needs to be done. They understood the assignment. They're coming through. So in terms of, content on this channel and uploading, so I think I still want to start to commit with one video a week. One video a week. We'll keep it to Fridays unless you think there's a different day. So happy Friday. Unless you think there's a different day that works better for uploading. Do you guys like the evening time for uploads? I find that it kind of works for those of you who are like me, that kind of come in after a week and you want to catch up with your favorites. There's a lot of my favorites that I catch up with on like a Friday when I'm winding down and I'm in the house. So it's kind of there and available for the weekend. This lipstick is beautiful. It's from Juvia's Place. It's the shade Libra. It's part of their the nude line. They have like different lines of lipstick. So this is like their nude one, but this is like so wearable and so pretty. And it's matte, but it's so comfortable on the lips. It feels like nothing on. I feel like I want a little bit more of an ombre, so I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of this other NYX lip liner. This one is in Urban Cafe. It's a bit of a lighter brown. Yeah, would you look at that? Oh, girls. Tell me that isn't a look. Do we gloss it? Yeah, let's gloss it. So just gonna go in with the Essence Shine 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 lip gloss. I love this one because you know what it feels like? It feels like the squeezy tube lip glosses from like back in the day. I suppose you can still get them now. But it feels like that, but in a tube with an applicator. Love it. So you can be very precise. And if you want, you can kind of clean off the applicator before you do another one. Or if you're extra like me, I have one for my reds or one for my nudes. That was a new tube that I just opened because I finished my last one. Yes. Okay, so this is the beat. Hope you enjoyed it. The face looks cute, professional. I look like I can, you know, be rolling into work with a little bit of a smoke to it. So I am going to start my day, go and put on something a little bit more appropriate on top, but start my day. I really enjoyed this catch-up video. I hope you did too. Maybe what we can do in a few videos from now is to do a bit of a Q&A, because I haven't done one on this channel for a while. I think I did a Q&A video pretty early on in my channel, and then I think we've done an assumptions video, but I don't think we've done another Q&A. So I think I will pop that over on my Instagram soon, and then I can film a video for that. In terms of upcoming content, there's a whole video coming. That will be the next video up after this. And then we'll see, we'll kind of just like keep it going. There's a lot of new makeup that I want to try. So leave me recommendations, leave me comments down below. Let me know what you'd like to see, because I want to make sure that you are going to enjoy it as well. I know you guys want vlogs. I'm literally not leaving the house that much. But if and when I do, I'll probably take my camera around so that we can film some content as well. Because you guys seem to like the vlog content when I have done the 2 videos that I did. Okay, so let me go get started on my day. Have an amazing Friday, have an amazing weekend, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.